16, it's the difference between 20 points and 10 points.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely clinching away first points gives you a huge advantage in the point standings.
Also, it makes it a little tough because we've got Cure Mango all the way from the first week sitting there, sitting on some points himself.
Yeah, the lone wolf.
Taking it all for himself.
Glassfist starting out with the sword deck, like you said, and Blargh with dragon.
Gonna mulligan 2 of his cards here and not get anything that's necessarily much better, but at least he's got a strong mid game. Unica, Maid Leader, Novice Trooper is good early curve. We want to see Swordcraft with a ton of options, but will that be the case?
Man, another Draconic Fervor. Glassfist definitely has the early game, especially with this Quick Blader that he just drew. Gonna be laying on the pressure.
So it's gonna be the Maid Leader to try to pull a commander, or is it gonna be the Unica to try to get 2 damage? He's got 2 Maid Leaders. He's gonna try to pull the commander. Luminous.
Nice. He is going second, so he's got the first evolve point on turn 4. He doesn't. That would have been nice to have drawn. It'd be nice to draw into a Floral Fencer for that first evolve point.
Oh, double draws on the Maid Leader. Novice Trooper into Grimner, and then maybe the Maid Leader in one?
Yeah, probably. He's going to have to chew through that ward one way or another.
Apologies, sir.
Quick Blader in.
And now Blargh's got Rahab on next turn, another ward
Yeah.
that Glassfist is going to have to chew through.
Now, it's going to be real easy to just Sybil up and protect yourself. You could also just Draconic Fervor and draw more options.
Right.
Which do you think you would do early on? In my mind, the draw might be attractive just because you want to get as many of your late game options as you can, but that board control, so he's going to actually, he's going to go for Rahab on 4, but the board control is actually, I think, pretty important.
And you're only going to heal if you're in Overflow. And he's not going to be in Overflow on this next turn. He is going to bring himself up to 6, so then the following turn will be an Overflow.
Quick Blader in, Hold Soul Swing. The Maid Leader comes down, he's going to spend an Evolve to try to close it out. Or is he just going to let that Rahab stay?
Probably. He doesn't want to leave the chance that the Rahab will remain on the field and gain extra attack points next turn.
Maid Leader in. And now we finally hit turn 5.
And playing Draconic Fervor gives Glassfist a huge advantage, I think, as far as pressure on the board is concerned.
Yeah. He's got a 1 and a 3. If you play Draconic Fervor, you're just letting that sit. There could very well, for all Blargh knows, be an Albert in hand, right? So you might be letting a lot of damage in. He's going to put the Sybil down, but not going to evolve.
Right. And there's still a Luminous Mage evolve point. He could evolve the Luminous Knight and give the Knight and the Mage Leader an extra attack point.
The awkward thing here is not quite... Okay, he's going to use the buff up here. And I would advocate clearing board just because of that healing effect.
You don't want that heal to come in next turn.
There's 4 damage to face.
Really
That's
great
some fairly good early pressure, but there's definitely opportunities to clear the board. Ooh. Pumping up one more, and that's going to activate, or come real close to activating Bahamut here. He's going to spend Evolve.
No, he's not. He's going to hang on to it. I think he really wants to keep those evolve points for Zhao coming up in his later turns.
It might be really great as well, just because you keep the evolve points. Yeah, you are able to play Zell, and you seem to be keeping up with board control as well. Just there's cards on the board for Swordcraft that can swing face, but not in the damage values that would really push you to a losing situation so far. And we see that in hand. There's not anything that's particularly dangerous. I mean, the biggest thing is probably the Alwidas and Luminous Mage.
Alwidas could come out this turn. The evolved Viking would be enough to take out Sybil, and then he'd still be able to go for face and have a ward, not to mention. That's what he's going to do. Yeah, Luminous Mage, Floor Fencer, great evolves, but they wouldn't have enough damage to really clear the board efficiently. And also go for some face damage.
Gonna remove Sybil and push another 3 here. But quite at Bahamut, but you're going to be able to do any combination of Ouroboros, Israfil, and then that ties you over to Bahamut. And I think that this puts Swordcraft in a really awkward spot. You don't have your Tsubakis this time around.
And even if you did, that would still be putting Ouroboros right back in the hand of Blargh.
Love to see Glassfists deck.
Welcome home, sir.
Just double confirm what's in there. Oh man, all the Luminous Mages being drawn right now.
Yeah, he might not even have Tsubaki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ouroboros is such a great card against Shadow. There's no banishment capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a real difficult card to deal with.
Yeah. Sword definitely.
You almost
Could
have to
struggle
ignore
here.
it and, you know, hope get some wards.
Oh, yep. He's gonna get the healing for Ouroboros. And now he's got the 13-13 on board. Is there an answer? Oh god.
There is a ward, but yeah, not a significant way that Glassfist is going to be able to deal with the Bahamut.
Mm-hmm. And he needs to be real careful because if he lets that Bahamut swing and he top decks a Zell, then the game's just over.
Right.
He's playing a ton of cards on board here.
Yeah, definitely wants to make it hard for Bahamas to go for face.
Shining Paladin, attack!
There it is, and Bahamut can't swing face here. Yep.
Right.
Fighting.
Oh, but
Easter
there is an
Fill.
Easter Fill. That's going to allow Bahamut to go for face.
Yep. That's gonna give it 2 damage plus a
Play
13.
Song of Sorrow.
Gonna knock Glassfist really low and 15 health on Dragoncraft's side as well. It's looking real
And
grim.
he's only on turn 9. He doesn't have Grimnir. And even then, oh man. Oh, what a strong board from Blargh.
Mhm. This really was a case of just not quite having the options he would want on Swordcraft's end and allowing Dragoncraft to get to that mid game. I mean, a lot of the early game was just not really existent there for the Dragoncraft player.
Right.
And then he just got to Sybil. He didn't even play any of his Draconic Fervors. It was just Sybil into Sybil. And then the healing was enough to pick him up. And, you know, Dragoncraft continues to demonstrate why it's so sturdy. The healing has demonstrated time and time again to be absolutely way too strong in the sense of just like, you can't, it's so hard to kill him. You
Yeah.
almost need something like a big Roach combo to really push through.
You almost need a dragon deck to take care of the dragon deck.
Well, you know,
Or
suppose you're not wrong. Suppose you're not wrong. Or
hey,
Shadow.
fire beats fire, man.
Yeah, it's really just all about how much throughput you have, right? Chipping damage is not really an effective thing in the current state of the game. With all the removal that you have, as well as kind of the multifunction of, like, say, for example, Israfil, right? You got the heal, you got the removal. Ouroboros as well. You've got the removal as well as the heal. And then, you know, what needs to be said about Sybil. Just all these cards with so much value every time you drop them. Right.
Come on.
It's not really a choice, right?
Right.
Whereas Draconic Fervor, in many ways, is a choice. Like, I skip a follower, I get a heal, I get draw. For Sybil, what do you really skip, right? I don't know if there's anything you skip. I get a Sybil, a 4/5 card that's, like, pretty good. I get a heal if I'm in Overflow. I get a ramp. If I'm not in Overflow, I ramp to Overflow and then possibly even just heal off of that.
Real quick, I'd like to point out, Blargh he didn't elect to draw a single new card. He kept his mulligan. He had Skull Beast, Conjurer, and Catacomb.
And also, he drew Phantom Howl in hand, so this is
And
an
the Shadow Reaper.
incredibly aggressive lineup here.
Definitely. Probably trade into Unica, get that follower out of the board. You don't want
Stuff
to
with
keep
2
us
healing
healing.
as well,
Yep.
yeah. Get the skeleton anyways, because Catacomb's pretty good.
The hand from Glassfist, there's not a whole lot that he's going to have to deal with. There's Albert, Alwidas. Those aren't going to come into play till a few turns later. He's got a ward with Veteran Lancer. That'll force a lot of the skeletons to trade into it in the coming turns. But that also, trading into a ward like that, it's just going to beef up the Shadow Reaper even more. Man, what a board for Blargh on only turn 4.
This is the classic Shadow Reaper Catacomb situation where there's no AoE clear, and every follower you clear is just making the Shadow Reaper stronger, and every follower you play is just fodder for your skeletons to run into and buff up the Shadow Reaper. And what's worse is you happen to be on turn 5 here, so there's an Evolve that can trade as well to take down things like this Ward card.
Yeah, he was able to do 4 damage this early in the game, whereas Glassfist wasn't able to do any.
And buff up his Skeleton 1. Or rather, buff up his Shadow Reaper 2. There's a Phantom Howl.
And I don't think the ghosts are going to be able to buff up the Shadow Reaper because they're banished. Maybe if you had a Sexton, that would allow them to be destroyed. But this is going to be a lot of damage.
Oh my god.
11 damage right to face on turn 5.
You've got 5 damage on Albert if you evolve him. +1 is 6. That Shadow Reaper's still sitting there with 2.
With 8 attack and 8 health.
I don't know if there's even any card you can play to kill it.
No, I don't think he's got it in his hand.
3, 4, 6. Nope. Nope.
Excellent work.
You're dead.
Excellent work.
Excellent work. Shadow Reaper Catacomb.
Man, yes, Shadow absolutely showing us once again. He didn't even get to turn 7. There was not even an Ector dunk.
Put him in a coffin.
Long now.
He's going to go for it.
Won't stop me.
Ooh.
So this is
Not
the
quite.
end.
Wow. That is real tough. That is real tough.
An
There's a
exemplary
Shadow
battle.
Reaper to close it out. And Blargh 2-0 will move past Glassfists. Shadowcraft is so aggressive.
Man, definitely showing us once again why it's the #1 play deck. It's so good right now, and that was, I think, one of the perfect curves that Shadowcraft could have gotten.